Hello friends and viewers, and welcome to my Beryl character guide. My name is James, I'm a global player and I started playing Sword of Convallaria in September 2024. I'm a longtime strategy and turn-based RPG fan with the Fire Emblem series, Tactics Ogre, and Unicorn Overlord as some recent titles I enjoy. I am a PvE focused player in Sword of Convallaria. I have no interest or knowledge of PvP. As a global player, I lack the technical knowledge and exposure to the Taiwan and China scenes. As a result, I'm subject to feedback and I'm open to being wrong. If you come across conflicting information to other guides and creators, then there are absolutely multiple ways to play a character. Play your way. As a fun fact about myself, I am a Thai tea boba enjoyer. Beryl's trait is I'm a genius. Beryl starts every turn with a random level 2 buff. Because of the randomness, the buff will sometimes be valuable and sometimes not, but you should ordinarily be equipped with external party buffs. What is more valuable is recovering 1 additional energy at the end of every turn, which allows her to use skills more frequently. Her initial skill is Choo Choo Choo. This is a strong initial skill and Beryl's primary single target skill, dealing 150% damage with armor piercing. At rank 1, your options are Wall of Flame or Casual Search. At a glance, Wall of Flame is more friendly for early Voyager progression, dealing AoE damage, and is one of the few skills in the game to trigger burning tiles. It's also a source of dot damage. You do not have to target an enemy to cast this ability as well. Casual Search grants you a random skill, which may or may not be valuable, but you have 2 turns to find an opportunity to use it. You can also RNG abuse with Backtrack to game for a specific skill. Casting Casual Search incurs 3 turn cooldown, and all of its skills cost 1 energy. At rank 11, casting Casual Search can be used as an instant cast to circumvent BOOOOM's movement restriction. My pick here is Wall of Flame. At rank 3, I recommend Energy Restoration. Using Energy Restoration, paired with Beryl's trait, she can recover up to 3 to 4 energy at the end of every turn. At minimum, this will allow her to cast Choo 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 and Wall of Flame every turn. Attack Boost is an AoE attack buff. It slightly loses value for Beryl herself if her trait rolls an attack 2 buff, and at best, this only has short-term use when you are still building up your character roster. KA Fire Conjurer is a free-to-play unit who can also learn the same skill. At rank 5, I recommend Cutie. Cutie decreases range damage and AoE damage taken. Range damage most often come from Watchers, her counter, Destroyers, and sometimes Breakers. Firewalking is more niche. It may be valuable in maps against enemies with several Fire Mages, Grenadiers, and/or Explosive Barrels. However, if Beryl is standing on a burning tile for survivability, she is likely within melee threat range, which she should proactively avoid to begin with. At rank 7, I recommend Try This. Try This performs a minor AoE heal, but its value is in its +2 energy restoration. Try to use the skill on a minimum of 2 allies to ensure positive energy returns. Flaming Meteor is a strong AoE skill, but is team dependent to optimize its setup. At a glance, Beryl trades 2 turns to perform 140% AoE fire damage. Some ways to address different parts of this skill. During the preparing portion, use an external Act Again or speed buff on Beryl to trigger its damage sooner. If you use Act Again, you can also dispel the skips the turn debuff prior to Beryl's next natural turn. You can also use Bound Immunity, such as Karis's Broad Radiance, to immune the skips the turn debuff. At rank 9, I recommend Bang. Bang has 1 more minimum and maximum range, a range of 2 to 3 tiles instead of 1 to 2 tiles compared to her initial basic attack and Scorching Attack. The stun chance is minor utility, and this also deals physical damage. In scenarios where physical damage is less valuable, you can still revert back to your basic attack to do magic damage. Consider Scorching Attack if you are playing Beryl primarily for fire damage, inflicting scorch and burning tiles. Regardless of what you pick, with Beryl's passive energy restoration, she should hardly ever be casting basic attacks. At rank 11, I recommend Boom. Boom boasts a hefty 5 energy cost. To circumvent the movement restriction, equip Beryl with Casual Search and/or Trinkets with instant skills to reset her movement after moving. It is a powerful ability for both single target and AoE, but it is dependent on having energy restoration to cast Boom every other turn. It's worth noting that First Aid heals based off the target's HP, so it is not dependent on Beryl's personal gear or stats. It's the largest single target heal in the game, shared with Nightingale, and contests with Bitterwort's Bitter Medicine. With Beryl's trait alone, she can cast this every turn. This is my recommendation for a Boom build. As mentioned, when using Boom, energy restoration is necessary to allow casting up to every other turn. Your third skill slot is a flexible pick based on map or fight type. Choo 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 to have a single target energy dump option. Try this for group energy restoration, or whichever skill you selected at rank 1. This is a possible fire build, focusing on scorch damage and inflicting burning tiles, but it is team dependent with Flaming Meteor. Use Flaming Meteor on turns where Beryl can externally be set up with Act Again or speed buffs and or bound immunity. Use Wall of Flame otherwise. Energy restoration is necessary to fuel both casts. Be extremely mindful that any burning tiles will impact your team as well. This is a possible support build, offering healing, external energy recovery, and attack buffs, with a chance to stun via her basic attack as a cherry on top. First Aid and Try This scale based off the receiving target's HP, so Beryl is not dependent on her personal gear or stats to increase the potency of her skills. These skills have low energy cost, and with her trait restoring 1 additional energy, this setup is very easy to play. For weapons, use Diffusing Prism or Resentment Broom for AoE damage, preferring whichever weapon with greater star level and engravings. Use Focus Wand for single target encounters where Choo 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 is your primary energy spender. For trinkets, recall you can use instant trinkets to reset Beryl's movement for Boom, so Roaring Flint, Spring Pill, and Disaster Bottle are all strategic options to circumvent the movement restriction. If you're using Casual Search with Boom, or not using Boom at all, consider Origin Hourglass for the magic attack increase. For Taros, Dream of the Magician is a good and flexible option to increase her damage. Consider Temptation of the Devil on maps with high target count, more so when using Beryl for AoE. And you can also look at Hierophant's Laws, strictly for single target with Choo 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 only. For engravings, the Sword and Wand is the best general use resonance to increase your attack and defense, and it is still valuable when you are strategic with instant skill options to play Boom. If you're concerned about Beryl's ease of movement, Sword and Pentacle is absolutely valid to consider as well. You may lean into this resonance if you're using Focus Wand. For a fun fact, Beryl currently has the highest base magic attack in the game. She is a powerful magic damage dealer, and her passive energy recovery makes her easy to use. As mentioned, her support skills are quite strong and not dependent on her stats or gear. Should you choose to go to the route of support Beryl, she can easily be integrated into any team, but it may be a difficult sell given her high base magic attack. Beryl is part of the Papal States, Aggression, and Sword of Convallaria categories. Consider building a team with her using Karis's, Nona-Will's, and Auroria's leaders' auras. For external category buffs, Karis offers a strong aura to increase damage dealt and reduce damage taken, but Beryl will need a little bit of external support to maintain the 4 buff requirement. With Beryl's passive energy recovery, Nona-Will's aggression aura is a good option to increase her skill damage. We also have Auroria with a Sword of Convallaria leader's aura for increased damage and decreased damage taken. This concludes my character guide. As mentioned in my disclaimer, I welcome feedback and I'm open to being wrong. I'm still learning and improving just like you are. Once again, if you find conflicting information to other guides or content creators, then that means there are multiple ways to build a character and still achieve success. If you have any feedback for me, please feel welcome to comment below. I also have my various social media platforms on this slide here. Last but not least, I want to credit and shout out these resources that helped me put this guide together. Voyage Memento for their character build samples and reference links, the Sword of Convallaria No Potion fan site for skill images and skill descriptions, the Sword of Convallaria Cloud Drop Wiki for skill filtering and gear images, and the Billy Game and Game Key Chinese sites for character art assets. I highly recommend visiting these links to build your Sword of Convallaria knowledge. Thank you so much for watching this character guide, and I will see you in the next one.